Entering science art activity 1. All right. Shreya, we can move to the next slide. Okay, so we are a mass of cells. We can define ourselves like that. Every cell, if you think of a cell as a structure, and we're not showing you the full structure of the cell in the beginning because that's what you will come up with, and we will see what you come up with in the end. But every cell has a membrane. So what do you think of when we say membrane? What is membrane? Like anyone? Parthiv says, yeah, he doesn't know, but what word comes to your mind when you think of membrane? Just think of something. When I say membrane, what other word can you think of? Waiting. Anyone? Okay, correct. The thing that coats the cell. Perfect, Parthiv. Well done. A surface, a covering. Brilliant. Exactly. So it's a surface, a covering. It's a coating. It's a layer. So outside all our cells is a layer called the cell membrane. But in the human cells, this cell membrane is actually 2 layers. If you notice, there are 2 layers of molecules. They have these heads and they have these tails, and the tails, which are the yellow tails, face each other. The heads are chemical molecules that love water, so they're hydrophilic. The tails are chemical molecules that hate water, so they are hydro. When you hate something, the word is hydrophobic. Absolutely. They are hydrophobic. And because we are made up of so much water, the hydrophobic parts of the membrane are snuggling together. And they just show the water loving parts on the outside. It's like you show some part of your personality on the outside, but you don't show parts on the inside. Like that. So this is how they do it. So it's 2 layers that surround the cell. It's found in all human cells. These layers are water loving and water not loving parts. They have both parts, and they have proteins and other molecules which are inside these inside these chemical molecules of the cell membrane. Right, exactly. You can be stupid outside, funny inside. You're just acting, right? So it's like they're water hating inside, water loving outside. And these 2 layers have lots of proteins and molecules embedded in them. So this was the structure of the cell membrane. It gives the cell a shape. Okay, let's move to the next slide. What is the function of the cell membrane? What would happen if you didn't have a cell membrane? Your cell won't have shape. Your parts of your cell won't be secure, right? They won't be protected. They'll get destroyed easily. The cell membrane's proteins also help in transporting substances, which wouldn't happen if you didn't have a membrane. Okay, so it gives you structure. It also helps in transport. So now we are going to draw the cell membrane. Have you seen enough of the cell membrane? Thumbs up, everybody. You've seen enough? Yes. Now on the next slide, we are going to start drawing, and we're going to use some key prompts. Like think of 2 layers, think of proteins, and think of transport. How would you draw this? Yes, brilliant, Kavish. The organelles would be floating in blood. Parthiv, great. He's drawn one. You can draw. Come on, everyone, let's draw a cell membrane, thinking of 2 layers, proteins, and transport. Okay, Parthiv. Then let's make that whatever number 1 times. One more time you will draw. Okay. So everyone tell us, how's it going? How's your drawing going? Let us know. Okay, it's going well. Are you thinking of 2 layers? Yes. Are you thinking of proteins? Yes, no? Yes. Are you thinking of transport? Okay, yes. Great. So once you're done, just put a thumbs up. We'll know when to move on to the next part of the human cell. Anyone wants to show what they've drawn so far? Any budding artists who... No, Parthiv says no. Okay. Any budding artists who want to show their work in action, their cells in action? Oh, video is dead, Parthiv. Okay, we understand. Cool. Kavish, sounds like what exactly, looks like what, like 2 parts of the molecule of the cell membrane. Very good. Okay, everyone, are we at a thumbs up stage? Should we move on to the next organ, next part of the human cell? Yes, no? Abhay, Ala, Suvarna. Okay, you're still taking some time. Okay. All right. So think two layers. Think water loving, water not loving. Think protein. Think transport. Think giving shape to the cell. Cool, Abhay. Thank you. Okay, this is getting exciting. You can also use colors directly. Okay, anybody, Kavish, you too. You all can all use colors directly also if you want. And at the end of the session, guess what we are going to take? We're going to take a selfie with our cells. This time, you guys are the selfie generation, but it's going to be spelled as selfie. How's that? Sounds good. Pooja is smiling. Kavish is smiling. What did you all think? People over 40 are not cool? I mean, what did you think? I'm your gen. You know, they don't agree, Shreya. We will have to accept that. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So as you're moving on that, let's move to the next part because it may be easier and you'll have a little more time to work on the cell membrane then. So the next part of the human cell that we're going to talk about is what's inside the cell membrane. So if you think of the cell membrane as a coating or covering or surface or layer, then what's inside is a lot of jelly. So it's called the cytoplasm, where cyto means cell. So it's gel-like, it's watery like gel-like. It has water, salts, other molecules, and other parts of the cell are suspended in it. It's important for the cell's metabolism. So to grow, reproduce, consume nutrients, make products, the cytoplasm is very important. So think of it as a balloon. The outside of the balloon is the cell membrane. The inside of the balloon is filled with jelly water. So maybe we draw the cytoplasm now. Next slide, Shreya. So the cytoplasm, where cyto means cell and plasm is like liquid, is gel-like. Think of it like a balloon and it's a thick material. Kavish is mom is saying cell P. Okay, yeah, that's hilarious too. Okay, so are we all drawing cytoplasm? Yes, exactly. It's dense. It's full of gel-like material. It's heavy. Very good, Parthiv. Okay, anyone else wants to show us their cell as it's becoming a cell? Anyone else? What about, okay, very nice, Kavish. So I can see cell membrane and I can, okay, you're trying to get that structure. Great, great. The cytoplasm. Okay, very nice. Parthiv says pop it. Yeah, cells can pop. That's why you need a cell membrane to give it some shape. Anyone else wants to show us? How about you, Pooja? How about Abhay? Abhay? Suvarna, Ala, Sayan, Sahasra, Parthiv, anyone else? Not yet. We are still keeping it. We are still keeping the suspense of the celluloid. Okay, I'm going crazy now. I'm going to try and turn every word into this. Okay, okay. Not yet, says everyone. Okay, so this is easy. You have a cell membrane and then you have some cytoplasm inside. But we said cytoplasm has other parts of the cell. So what are these other parts? So you see, we are going from outside inside the cell slowly. We are building up our art like that. So let's go to what's inside the cytoplasm now. So share next slide. Inside is one structure which we've heard of. Everyone's heard of nucleus? Thumbs up if you've heard of nucleus. Okay, okay. We are asking them too much multitasking, Shreya. They are drawing, we are giving thumbs up, they are understanding science. Okay. So the nucleus is like the brain of the cell. It's like the central unit that controls the cell. It has all the DNA for that cell. It has an outer membrane and an inner membrane. So just think that the nucleus also has a membrane. Okay. The nucleus also has exactly. It's like the control panel of a computer, precisely. Okay. The nuclear membrane also has pores. It has little holes like the sieve of your tea. Hello, Bhargavi. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. We'll just catch you up, Bhargavi. Just give us a few minutes. We'll catch you up. And most cells have one nucleus. Correct? It's like the central functioning unit. Except some cells like red blood cells that don't have a nucleus. This is the information you know about the nucleus. So it's inside the cytoplasm. Most cells have one of them. The nucleus also has a membrane. The membrane has pores. The nucleus contains a ton of DNA. So now let's try and draw the nucleus. And in the meantime, we'll get Bhargavi up to speed. Okay, so next slide. This is the nucleus. What it does, before we draw it, what it does is it contains DNA. So it's the control center of the cell. And this is where DNA makes more DNA and DNA gets converted to RNA. Just remember, so some really vital or very important processes happen in the nucleus. Okay, so next slide where we'll draw the nucleus, which is here. So the key words are pores. The nucleus has pores. The nucleus has DNA and the nucleus is circular. Now, can you use these to draw some structure? Okay. So while everyone is focusing on their cell membrane and cytoplasm and nucleus, Bhargavi, we've just drawn a cell membrane. That is the outer layer of the cell. We've drawn the jelly content in the cell. That's the cytoplasm. And now they're drawing the nucleus. So you can just quickly draw one outer circle and one little circle, and then you'll be up to speed. Okay. All right. Outer circle and then draw a little circle inside. Okay. Great, Bhargavi. Good to hear that. And how's the nucleus going? Are you under, is it under control? Okay. Yes. Under control. It was meant to be like a pun on nucleus, but I'm guessing. Okay. Kavish, not yet, not under control. Getting there. Okay. All right, Kavish. Okay, Parthiv. GIFs are good. Let's do science. We're going to do selfies for sure. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Great. 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 Nucleus is shaping up, everyone. Okay. So let's do a thumbs up on that. So we have a cell membrane. Great, Suvarna. Oh, wow. Well done. Well done, Suvarna. Well done. We have, well done. We have a cytoplasm. We have cell membrane. We have cytoplasm. And now we have the nucleus. Now let's go even more inside. What is inside the nucleus? We said there is DNA, but there's more. So inside the circular nucleus is a smaller structure called the nucleolus. The nucleolus doesn't contain DNA, but it has RNA and other proteins. The DNA is the outside part between the nucleolus and the membrane of the nucleus. The type of protein that is present in the nucleolus is called ribosomes. Yes, we'll come to mitochondria shortly and we'll come to ribosomes shortly. So now, after you've drawn the nucleus, can you please draw the nucleolus? Let's move to the next slide, Shriya. So the nucleolus is where you have, it has pores. It's in the nucleus and it's circular, but it doesn't contain DNA. So now think of how you will place the DNA in the nucleus if it's not in the nucleolus. Okay. Yes, mitochondria are there. Bhargavi is in a car. That's totally fine. You can be in listening mode, Bhargavi. You can do it later. The slides will be on the website. And the recording too, right, Shriya? Pretty soon. Great. So this is a complex part. So take some time to think about it. Cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. Nucleus contains nucleolus. It also contains DNA, but DNA is not in the nucleolus. It's in the nucleus, but not in the nucleolus. Let's see how this is going to look like. Great. Very nice. Creative. Very creative, Kavish. Very creative. I can see you've gone ahead and drawn the DNA structure also. That's sort of the next part of this. But great, great. Okay. How's it going? They're very busy creating art. They're in flow. Horrid, says Parthiv. Okay, don't worry. Very cellific. Okay. Why horrid, Parthiv? We apologize. Very nice, Sayan. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice, Abhay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Great work. So colorful. So colorful. Abhay. And Kavish, very cellific. That's great. We're going to pick up that pun. Okay. Shreya, we have to put a disclaimer. All puns on TTAS are the property of TTAS. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, guys. That's just how it is. You know, we have intellectual property over the puns that are created on TTAS. Okay. Okay, we've come right up to the nucleolus now. Okay, now we are going to get into the even smaller organelles or smaller parts of the human cell. So shall we move on to the next part? The next part is still in the nucleus. It's going to be DNA. For those of you who need to know. Okay, so has everyone heard of DNA? Thumbs up if you've heard of DNA. Perfect, everyone's heard of DNA. So this shows a human body. It shows a single cell. Great, great, all great. Everyone's heard of DNA. We are having DNA icons and everything also. It shows a human cell, which we are trying to draw. It shows a nucleus. Note there's one nucleus. It's circular and it has a membrane with pores. Then it shows inside the nucleus, there is a chromosome. And the chromosome is made of DNA. So far, so good. So everyone's familiar with chromosome and DNA, and both of them are in the nucleus. Now let's see what chromosomes look like. Okay, next slide. Chromosomes are actually tightly packed DNA, which is all in the nucleus. So how many chromosomes do you have? How many chromosomes do we all have? How many pairs? 23 pairs of chromosomes. Right? And one pair of chromosomes, which determines whether we are boy or girl. Perfect. 23 pairs. 22 pairs is common. And the last pair is what tells you whether you're a boy or a girl. So if it's XX, then are you a boy or a girl? Biologically. XX will be found in G. Okay. We get that, Kavish. And XY would be XY would be a boy. Perfect. Perfect. So all of this information, including the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, your skin texture, your length of your bones, is all in your nucleus. It's all in your chromosomes, including whether you're a boy or a girl. Yes, absolutely. In a biological sense, of course, we know that, you know, gender is a more complex topic than just biology, and we acknowledge that. Okay, so now we are right into the nucleus and we've looked at chromosomes. Chromosomes are packed DNA. What does the DNA look like? And then we are going to draw it, okay? So next slide is, what does the DNA look like? So the DNA is a double helix. It's your genetic material. The full form is deoxyribonucleic acid. It's two strands that wind around each other, forming a double helix. And then they have little steps, which are other molecules that bridge them together. Sounds good? This is a classic structure in biology, right? But every biology textbook or book will have something about this. So we've heard this so many times. And the best part is, though we all have 23 pairs of chromosomes, your DNA is unique to you, right? From your DNA, someone can say, okay, this is Abhay, this is Pooja, this is Suvarna, this is Sayan, from your DNA. Right? That's pretty impressive because you have DNA from both parents, but you don't look exactly like one parent, right? You look you. And isn't that marvelous? All right, fantastic. So on that note of being marveled by DNA, we will draw it. So in the next slide, what will you think of when you draw DNA in the nucleus, but not in the nucleolus? DNA has chromosomes. Think of it as compact. Think of it as a double helix and think of it in the nucleus. I think let's all start drawing DNA now and we will then take a look at your DNA. Yeah, we look the same. That's true, but we don't look identical. Certainly not, right? Okay, now well, Parthiv, that must be just very, 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 very similar. You still don't can't be identical, and certainly not in the DNA sense because you do have DNA from your mother. Okay, so is everyone drawing DNA? Sounds good. Double helix, compact in the nucleus. So we have lots of defining features for DNA, and to think that it's those 23 chromosomes that make you, right? Okay. Where are we? Has everyone got past DNA? Great. Wonderful, Suvarna. Wonderful. Double helix looks beautiful. Well done. Well done. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, Kavish. That looks large and complex and beautiful. Beautiful, Kavish. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else with DNA? Okay. Okay. So now we have come to the relatively simple parts of the cell. Okay. I drew my RNA in the nucleolus. That's fine. That's fine, Kavish. That's good, Sastra. Very well done. So we've done cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, nucleolus, DNA, chromosomes, DNA. So we've come to the easy parts, but there's lots more in the cell that is required to keep that cell functioning. And all these millions and trillions of cells are needed to keep us functioning. So let's now move to the little more complicated parts. Okay. Now in the cytoplasm, sac-like structures called Golgi bodies and endoplasmic reticulum. So they are found in the cytoplasm. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yeah. Okay, great. And they are basically, if you see, they are these flattened sacs that are found in the cytoplasm. They can't be in the nucleus. There's no place in the nucleus. It's packed with DNA. So they're outside in the cytoplasm. And that's Golgi body or endoplasmic reticulum. And they have a lot of proteins and molecules which they package and distribute. So you can think of Golgi and endoplasmic reticulum like a post office. They receive packages of molecules and chemicals, they sort it out, and then they ship them to other parts of the cell. So next slide, let's see a little more about them. Let's hear a little more about them. So the function is packaging and processing of chemicals, proteins, carbohydrates. They sort them and distribute them to different parts of the cell. And so it's called a factory for proteins. So now we are going to draw the Golgi and endoplasmic reticulum in the cytoplasm. So in the next slide, what are the key points? The points are they are in the cytoplasm, they are flattened sacs, they are stacks, so they are arranged one on top of the other, they are interconnected, and they make proteins. So how will you want to represent this? Well, we told you it's getting complicated. So think of flattened sacks. Think of like, have you ever seen sacks of rice or sacks of wheat? Yeah. Think of all of them like piled on top of the other. That's your endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi. And that's where all these proteins and other molecules get packed and distributed, etc. So it's like a post office or like a courier center. They get parcels of chemicals from all over the cell, they distribute it to all over the cell. Okay, so how is, okay, let's see, Kavish has something to show us. How is it going with Golgi and endoplasmic reticulum? Yeah, sort of like that. Well done, Kavish, well done. You were nicely shown that they are interconnected also because they have to move packages around, right? Yeah, great, great. So can you, while you're drawing the Golgi and ER, it may take a little time, can you name any courier service in your city? We don't courier stuff. We just like DTDC. Brilliant, Kavish. Brilliant. So one DTDC has to connect to another DTDC. Blue Dart, DHL, Speed Post. Excellent. Exactly. So they have to connect. So these parts of the Golgi and ER are connected to each other. That's how they will collect or receive and ship. Okay. So how's it going, everyone? Abhay, Bhargavi, Sayan, Ala, Suvarna, Sahasra, Parthiv. How's the drawing going? How's the art going? Nice, Sayan. Nice. Oh, very nice, Abhay. Very nice. Getting even more colorful. Dunzo. Yeah, sort of like Dunzo. We agree. We agree. We agree. So our analogies are also outdated at this point, Shreya. We are still talking of courier and speed post and all. Like now they are saying Dunzo. What is speed post? Who does speed post? Okay, intercity Dunzo. Okay, great. Great. All right. So shall we move on? Thumbs up if you want us to move on to the next organelle in the cell. Thumbs up. Oh, great, Kavish. Anyone? Yes, Pooja. Anyone else? Thumbs up in the chat window. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you, Parthiv. Great. So all of you have already started drawing it in your unique way. For example, Kavish has shown it like a giant cell with all the parts. Abhay has shown it a cell zooming in specific parts. I'm very curious to see how all your big cells look. Okay, Sahasra, great. Sayan, great. So let's move on to the next organelle then. Okay, because once an artist is in motion, is in action, you need to keep going. Now, we also said that the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi, they make proteins, they transport proteins, they package proteins. But what in them makes the proteins? Some endoplasmic reticulums, some of them contain these small structures called ribosomes. So ribosomes are actually found not in one place, but in two places in the cell. Hello, can you all see me, hear me? Yeah, okay. They are found in the cytoplasm. They're also, think of how you'll show them in the cytoplasm in your art. They're also found on the endoplasmic reticulum, because that's the part where the ribosomes ribosomes in the endoplasmic reticulum help make protein. The ribosomes also have a big head and a small head. As you can see, they are called subunits. It's basically like they have one big head and small head. And they process RNA to make protein. Okay, so I've said some key points. We'll move to the next slide. The key points are, they have two subunits, a big head and a small head. They make proteins. They're found in the cytoplasm. They're also found in the endoplasmic reticulum. So how will you show this in your art? And these are ribosomes that help you make proteins, that make proteins in the cell. So some ribosomes go and stick to the endoplasmic reticulum, and some are just in the cytoplasm doing their thing, which is making proteins. But that one is like, I'll make proteins on my own. Sort of like I can do this. I got this kind of ribosome. Okay, how's it going? Very nice. Very nice. I can see arrogant ribosome. Okay. The best part about it is they can't speak back to us. So we can say what we want. That sounds like fun. Not a lot of mothers will say that can happen. Yes, Ala, in textbooks, they look like pepper specks in the cytoplasm. Brilliant. What a nice analogy that is. What a nice analogy. Wonderful. Beautiful, Sam. Beautiful. Big head, small head. Absolutely. Very nice. Well done. Well done. Well done. Sahasra, Kavish, Abhay. Great, great. Abhay, where are the ribosomes? Show us ribosomes. Nice, nice. Okay, very nice. Sahasra, beautiful art. That's an outstanding art. Sahasra, very nice colors, Abhay. Great work, Kavish. Everyone's shaping. Now, what has Parthiv written? Pneumonal ultra microscopic. Parthiv, is this like the longest word ever? Okay. It is. It is. I guess it is the word. It is a word, right? It's a disease or something. Pneumo ultra microscopic something. It's a lung disease. Exactly. Exactly. I agree. Okay. So everyone's drawing their ribosomes. I think they're making lots of proteins, which is making everyone very creative. Abja, you can switch the video off, sweetheart. Abja. Okay. Okay. Now we'll move on. So yeah, sometimes the mom in me also comes forth. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next one. Shreya, we'll move to the next one. Okay. Yes. And on the note of sometimes the mom in me comes onto the webinar, we are talking of mitochondrial DNA. Okay. Mitochondria, rather. So in the cell, in the cytoplasm, where you have your Golgi and endoplasmic reticulum and these free floating ribosomes, you also have these powerhouses called mitochondria. And I think powerhouses of the cell must be the most used statement in any biology textbook. Anyway, mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell and they're shaped like little spheres. Okay, you can see, right? They are these bean shaped. I would say they're bean shaped. The interesting thing is they have two membranes, an outer and an inner, and they have their own DNA. So the only part of the cell that contains DNA other than the nucleus is the mitochondria. And you know what's really unique? The mitochondrial DNA is what you get from your mother. The nuclear DNA you get from your mother and father. Mitochondrial DNA is only your mother. So I would like to say that we are all a little bit more our mothers. Sort of it works for me. Yes, Kavish, great, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so Kavish has already drawn it, but let's move to the next slide and see what we will draw in mitochondria. Powerhouse of the cell, so they make energy. They are rods or spheres or bean shaped. They have two membranes, they have DNA, and they have these little folds. The membrane has these little folds, and those folds are called cristae, but you don't have to worry about it. They're just folds. So let's all draw mitochondrial DNA and think of this as a practice for your next Mother's Day card. Next Mother's Day card, you'll draw mitochondria and say, thank you for my mitochondria. Kavish, that's a plan. I can see skepticism, but that's a plan. Okay. Very nice. Beautiful, Sahasra. Beautiful art. We're absolutely loving the creations. What about Ala, Abhay, Bhargavi, Suvarna, Sayan? That's wow, Sayan. That's, can you just hold it, please? I will. Yes, yes. I want to say beautiful, Sayan. Kavish says your mom will cry with happiness. Absolutely, she will. Done, says Abhay. Great. So we acknowledge our mothers for our mitochondria, and there you really cannot. No human being can exist without mitochondria, right? Because they make energy. What is the form of energy that's made in the mitochondria? Do you know the three-letter word? Yes, yes. Suvarna, brilliant. Yes, brilliant, Suvarna. It is ATP. I don't know who I'm saying brilliant to. I'm saying so many brilliance at this point. Whether it's the art, whether it's the answers, brilliant. So mitochondria make ATP. So I'm assuming everyone has got mitochondria good. Okay, now let's move to the next organelle. The next organelle is something you may not have heard about. This is rather complex. It's called microtubule. Now think about this. Have you ever seen a building under construction? Yes. Everyone has seen a building being built, right? Somewhere. In India, definitely. Everywhere the buildings are being built and broken down. Yes. So have you seen those like iron or metal wires that they put on which they build the bricks and the cement? Those are like the scaffold. That's called a scaffold that holds the structure together. The membrane gives the cell shape, but the microtubules hold the shape. So they are hollow tubes. You know, I guess everyone knows the meaning of hollow. What hollow tube have you used in your life at some point? to drink something. Yes, Kavish, you can type. Brilliant, brilliant. Straw. So think of microtubules like a straw. Brilliant, Sam. And they are basically dispersed all over the cell in different directions. They give that scaffold to the cell, without which the cell would just be like sad. It would just be like totally floppy. Shreya, I hope these are not screenshots that are being taken. I really hope these parts are edited out. This is completely against my image. Okay. All right. So the microtubules are straws. Ala smiling. She's rather laughing. They're like these structures or rods that hold the cell. Okay. So they are hollow. That's one point you should keep in mind when you're drawing. They're made up of proteins. The proteins are called tubulin. Tubulin. You get it? In addition to giving structure, they also help other organelles like vacuoles, lysosomes. You may not have heard of these, but they walk on the microtubule. They can move across the cell. So they're like roadways. They're like highways. Another way to think of microtubules, they are highways across the cell and help in transport. So they help in structure and transport. They are located in the cytoplasm. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and see how we will draw microtubules. Hollow tubes made up of little protein parts called tubulin, and they are located in the cytoplasm. They give structure, they act as a scaffold, and they allow other organelles to move on them. So they act as highways. That's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one to draw. Let's see what we come up with. Brilliant, brilliant, Sayan. Brilliant, brilliant. And Vridanshi, you've joined late, but we're just drawing the cell. So you can just catch up with whatever we have done so far. Let us know if you need help. Brilliant, Sahasra. Wow, that's some serious art. Beautiful work, everyone. They are connected to the cell means they're inside the cell. Yes, they are obviously connected to the cytoplasm and they're inside the cell. Great, Ridanshi, great. Just type your question. Kavish, Ridanshi, just type your question. So I guess, Suvarna, oh, beautiful. That's a lovely hollow tube. Perfect, perfect. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Anyone else? Abhay, Parthe, no, Parthe's video is not turning on, but Sayan. Anyone else wants to show us their microtubules? Again, believe it or not, you can't function without a microtubule structure in the cell. They can be connected to organelles, yes. Abhay says later, okay. They can be connected to different parts of the cell. Okay, and now, so you think of microtubules as hollow rods in the cytoplasm, connecting organelles, moving organelles, made up of proteins. Okay, great, hollow. Now let's move to the last structure. And now we're going to start, after that, we're going to see our cell fees. The last structure are empty storage bins. So everyone has a storage bin at home. Everyone has a kachra dabba at home. Yeah, absolutely. So they are also important. Everybody plays a role. Everything plays a role. No, says Parthiv. Okay. So they are empty little compartments that store whatever stuff the cell may need. They store stuff that the cell wants to discard. So it can be water, it can be toxic products, waste products, any material. It's a trash bin, trash box. Yeah, trash bin, trash box. Okay, either. So they store these materials and they are in the cytoplasm. So Kavish is showing us some vacuoles, I believe. That's a microtubule. Very nice, Kavish. Beautiful, beautiful. And they are these little vacuoles. Beautiful work, Sayan. Love the shading. Love the shading. Vacuoles in the cytoplasm of the cell, and they store all kinds of different products. Okay. It's like the storage bin. Right? That's important. You need to store stuff. Okay. Importantly, the membrane of the vacuole is called a tonoplast. That's usually in plant cells. But anyway, you can just remember that it has a membrane. So now when we're drawing vacuoles, let's move to the next slide. When we're drawing vacuoles, we should think of drawing them as empty bins which store things. They have a membrane and they're in the cytoplasm. Okay. So we are coming to the end of our art with the vacuole. Very shortly, we are all going to see our artwork and take a selfie. Okay? Yes? How's it going? How's the storage bin going? Hey guys, I just got an idea. The next time IKEA wants to, IKEA products have a name, right? They have some name, right? IKEA is this brand, right? The next time they want to have a name for a bin, I'm going to call it vacuole. Ala agrees. So Ala, this is a really amazing idea we've come up with. Vacuole. Okay. All right. So are we done? Everyone's done? Next. I think we are done, Shreya. Everyone's done with that. Okay. Finally, this is what the human cell looks like. So let's see. The outer cell membrane, we said 2 layers, outer structure, holds together the cytoplasm, which is gel-like, right? Which is the nucleus in the center, a single nucleus per cell usually. Nucleolus inside the nucleus. Nucleus contains DNA. Outside the nucleus in the cytoplasm is the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi. We said endoplasmic reticulum can have ribosomes. Ribosomes can also be free in the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm also has mitochondria. It also has microtubules, which are these rods, hollow rods, and it has vacuoles. How does that sound? Have we built our cells? Okay, yes, now we can. All right. Now you put the whole picture together, right? So can everyone turn their videos on and let's do a selfie. I mean a CELLFIE.